So here also some definitions. We have fault, error, failure, validation, verification. So let's start with the fault, error, failure. So guys, here we have, and then also we have example. So let's go a little bit quickly. So the fault. Okay, if you see just many times you say, okay, this is my fault. This is my fault. So what's mean fault? Fault does mean something it's happened because the human. Because you human do something wrong, so it's fault. So because of that fault, in the system there is error. In the system where there is error, because the fault, there is some error in the system. We'll see some examples. So it's the internal state of the system, because that's error. So the failure, okay, now you have error in your system because that's human, do something wrong or make some incorrect, for example, sentence in the code. So now the failure, maybe it will appear in the system, may not. So this is the failure. The failure is the behavior of the system, because it's error in the system, because the human do that error. Okay, so the fault is because the human, and he makes some incorrect, for example, sentence in the code, and now we have error in the system. This is the internal state. Maybe it will appear, maybe it's not appear. If it's appear as fault, as a failure. Okay, so let's see example. So here, if we see this example, it's just this example to count how many zero in array. Okay, we have array, the array starting from 0 to, for example, to the length of the array. Of course, this is the normal. So but when this guy write this, actually, if you can see here what the wrong here in this, or what the fault you can say in this code.
Initial position.
So here we can say we have array. Okay, this is because it's C++ or Java, whatever, both these languages starting with 0, but here start with 1. So this is the error. And this is by what? By a human. So this is the error. So the fault here, we can say it's this guy start the index from 1, not from 0. This is the fault. So maybe let's see this example to be more clear. So if you see here, this is the fault. And then if we try these test cases, we want to, the array is 2, 7, 0. So since it starts from 1, so they will count. This one, 7, is it 0? Is not 0. This one, it's 0, which is the second position or the third position in this array. So if you see here, the error is not appear. The fault, even we have error. We have the error, which is start from 1 to the length of the array. The output will be correct for the first one. We have 1, 0. But here, we have this second test cases. We have 0 to 7. So this application or this software will start from this position. So they will count no 0 here, no 0 here. So the output is 0. So here the expected it's 1, but the output is 0. So this is fault now. The fault that is appear, even we have the error or we have the error. We have the error, it's in early, but it's not appear. So the error in the system, in the two cases, the error is there, but the failure is appear only in the second test case. So just to know that's what the error something it's happening because the human. The error actually is the internal state. So here, as you see, okay, the internal state, that means the index starting from 0. Starting from 1. I is 1, not 0. So, but it will not be appear in the first, as a fault. In the first test case, it will not appear. But here it's appear because it start from 0. So this is the difference between three concept, which is error, fault, and failure. Okay, some people actually, when you are doing your programmings or testing, maybe, okay, this concept also it's used together, I mean, with misunderstanding. And so we can say there is no problem if you use it like this. Even there is some other name for these things, unless you know what you're doing. Okay, you know this. Okay, even if the error or false, you can test, you can fix it, so it's okay. Okay, as I said, there is many other concepts, but the problem here, or the main point, you have to know what are you doing. Either you're fixing the error or the fault, so you have to fix it. I mean, if you know to fix it, so whatever, is it fault or errors. So the second one, which is the validation and verifications. Okay, this is also, it's clear, it's not that difficult. Guys, maybe I think after this we will stop because the time. Maybe you have something to do it because it's already now almost 10. So validations, guys, when you, from the name, validate something is different than verified, right? So when you have, when you have the requirements, and between you and the user. So after you gathering all this requirement and you want to check this requirement is correct, the user want this requirement or not. So this is the validations. So this is what we say here. Are we building the right products? Okay, so this one actually, after, for example, you can say you collect all the requirement and then you want to validate it. So you can go back to the user. Go back to the user and then validate these requirements. So is this requirement you want or difference? And for example, the system able to log in, or the user able to log in. So how to check this one? Maybe you come back to the user and check. So this is the validation. If you have the requirement and you want to check the correctness of the requirements, so this is validations. Now you have the requirements and you are building the software. So that means you design the software and then now you want to build the software itself. Okay, so this is the verifications. Are we build the product rights? That means we have it, and then we want to check, is this the correct product that we want? So here also there is different methods. By the way, here one method that can help in validate the requirement is the documentations. When you write the documentations, because you have to gather the information by using different methods. So the documentation also can help in validate the requirements. The verification actually, once you have the system and you want to verify it, that means you want to see its functionalities. Is it the functionalities that reflect this requirement, this specification or no? So here we have the system and against the requirements, but here you have the requirement against the user need. Okay, so here maybe you can use some verification methods. There is what they call it is state. I forget exactly, but you know, guys, maybe one of them, for example, when you can draw the system as a finite state machine. I think yes, finite state machines. This is what requires one methods for verification. There is many methods. Because now you have the system. And then to verify, for example, you say, okay, the system, it's now if I'm in the main modules, okay? And then if I click login, where I have to go, or the system will take me to where. So how I verify this? Maybe I can use this finite state machine. So this is the verification methods. We have the system and we verify it against the specification, against the requirements. In the validation, we verify the specification against the user need. Okay, guys, the testability. Actually, this one, I take it from the lecture number 3. I say maybe we have few topics, so we can cover this one for today. But I think we will take it again to 3. So next week, maybe we'll take the testability. So, but what do we mean by testability? Just to say how to design testable software, how to design testable software. I will change here. We have to write guidelines, because this topic, if I say how to design, that means I should to give you some practical way. So this is just guidelines, how to test or how to design testable software. Actually, we have many things to talk about it, this one. I think, guys, we stop here. Okay.